something already feels different. And I wasn't expecting it to happen this fast. Month 2, day 5. And that is how it looks when you're actually doing the content. And I'm going to explain this to you because this is hopefully, this is not going to be a guru guide. This is going to be something of a personal experience, right? And I think personal experience and sharing that is what's going to help other people. The first thing is when it comes to your content journey, you're going to feel anxious about it. Just like the first date is going to feel anxious. You're going to feel butterflies unless you have an outgoing personality. Unless you're an extrovert, you're gonna feel that anxiousness. It's something that there's no amount of psyching yourself up that's going to overcome that. It's not gonna happen. There's hit the live button when you're streaming or posting your content, hitting the record button like I am and putting it out there. It's not gonna go away. It gets better, but it never really fully goes away. Second thing is in this whole content journey is to make sure that you have an interest. I know people say niche. I don't like to use niche because it sounds minimal. Let's be honest, no one, unless you have some unique kind of interest that nobody has. I mean, if you're generally an out there person, have, lived a little bit, your interest most likely will find some fan base, find like-minded people, will find people that share your interest. Now, what separates your interest from somebody else's is the fact that you yourself have taken the time to post it online. Some people don't do that. They keep to themselves and they enjoy what they enjoy and then they kind of move on. That's kind of how you find your people, is you have to put your interest out there for others to find, and they will find it. It'll take some time because, like everybody says, it's not going to be an overnight type of video that blows up, right? Make sure that you have some form of game plan. No matter what your interest is, however you need to structure it to kind of break it up to what topic you're talking about, definitely have that. Like myself, I have content pillars is what I call them, and I section out all of my content accordingly. That way I have a topic that I'm going to talk about, whether it be specific lore series, game, design files that I just came up with recently. Go with that. Make sure you have structure. The fourth thing I would say that would, hopefully help content creators is to make sure that you are personable. How well you can actually talk, if you're funny, and all that stuff is good. But I think more than anything, personality will win almost every time. If you have a genuine, decent personality, that if somebody walked up to you on the street and could hang out with you at a convention or something, just basically as platonic as possible, if they can pick that up in your videos right away, you're okay. You don't have to perform, you don't have to do, crack jokes. Really found what it is that people are notice you for. I would say try to ask around, ask people in real life that you associate with. Hey, what about me is something that you find personable, that defines me? I think that is probably something you would want to ask first before you try to search the internet and scour and mimicking, in a sense, of somebody else's personality. I think that's what happens and trips people up. They start out trying to mimic what they see as successful. I know that was a long number 4, but it's pretty lengthy, right? Number 5, and I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Take a break. There's no point in you being frustrated off of deadlines. There's no point in you being frustrated because something didn't go according to plan, and it's going to bleed into your content. Don't do that. If you're frustrated and you're frustrated for too long because you keep hitting roadblock after roadblock, you're going to just probably tap out. Like they always say, the streamers, after doing it for so long, not enjoying it, not having fun, hitting roadblocks, not seeing, a certain number of views or growth, they tap out. Same thing with content creation. You're stressed out because you can't set the realistic expectations for yourself, not goals, but realistic expectations. If you work a 9 to 5, you're not going to have all the time in the world to do content. I personally think that's why people do streaming and kind of gravitate towards streaming so much, is because you just hit the live button, you play the game, be personable. Kind of like going to a bar, right? Kind of like going to an outing with friends. You can just hit the live button, play the game, and be, funny and everything like that. And that's not saying it's easier, but I think that's why it's more appealing. Because when it comes to content creation, you have to, set the camera, script. You have to kind of put that out there and hope that your video will do good on the analytics. And it's just kind of how it is. It's like a shot in the dark, not in the sense of you're just doing whatever, but you don't know if your videos are going to flop or not for the most part, especially early on. You just take a break, take a breather, go outside and breathe some fresh air. I think that was neither 4 or 5. But my next point, I think, is a good word: upset. That you are not able to have the success that you see in front of you on social media. I think a lot of comparison happens, and it's going to happen. I mean, there's no way out of that for a lot of people. And then after a certain milestone, I think a lot of people, what they do is they'll hit that 5 year mark and they'll expect themselves to be as big as the top streamer, the top content creator. And I think one of the pitfalls of that mindset is that certain people have gotten to where they are because they have just struck while the iron is hot. It's pretty straightforward. Sometimes for a person in content creation to stand out is to be the handful of individuals that did X thing first. So just be mindful of when you're making this content journey that you try and not only stick with your interest, you want to make sure that you do something that shows you, right? That you and your personality and everything else comes through. Other than that, I think it's just a matter of taking your time and working with what you have and just being genuine with it. But like I said, I wanted to share these thoughts out here on this internet space. I do appreciate everybody's likes. I do appreciate everybody sticking around the content, showing up for me. I do appreciate that. And like I said, this was just me, a bit of a think piece. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.